Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here with tonight's Money in the Bank pay-per-view review, recap, whatever you guys want to call it. Show is actually pretty darn good, all things considered. Nick, what's going on, and what did you think of the show?
What is going on, folks? Overall, this was a super fun and super exciting pay-per-view. I loved damn near every second of it. Like, damn near every second of this pay-per-view, I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. I'm having a relatively okay time watching this.
Yeah?
Mind you, this is the first pay-per-view I've actually had the opportunity to watch bell to bell since, like, probably... What was the pay-per-view before Mania?
Fastlane? And then there was Elimination Chamber before that, and then the Rumble before that.
It was the last one I watched bell to bell was the Rumble.
Dang.
It was the Rumble. And so to be able to sit back down and to watch, you know, bell to bell this pay-per-view, I had a great time. And one thing I got at, like, I talked about a lot last week was Lacey Evans, who had a great showing in this match, in my opinion. She was fantastic this evening, but a lot more happens in this show, so we're gonna talk about it, including that crazy fucking ending. So let's break it down.
Yeah, so I guess we can start with the kickoff show. Pretty good match between the Usos, Daniel Bryan, and Rowan. I mean, it was not much different than the match they did have on SmackDown. I didn't think so, at least. But it's still, all things considered, a really good match.
Yeah, it was a great match. It was a lot of fun.
I was surprised by the finish, though. I did not expect the Usos to go over, and now Usos are petitioning that they get another shot at the SmackDown tag titles when fuckers are Raw superstars. But hey, wild card rule. It don't matter.
Wild card rule, baby.
Even the people on the what's it called? Kickoff pre-panel or whatever it is were kind of confused. They were like, so wait, this is the wild card thing, so teams can just face each other from different shows whenever? Like, they're like, does wild card rule work on pay-per-view?
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You're good.
The shit out of my mic right there. Jeez. Yeah, I thought the opening match was fine for the pre-show, at least.
Oh yeah, I thought for a pre-show match it was better than most.
Do you want to go ahead and break it down, or you just want to go over it?
I mean, there's not too much to say. If you saw the match they had on SmackDown a couple weeks ago, it was basically the same match. I mean, the finish did come when... Where was it? Brian took some super kicks, and he was laid out. The Usos did their splash off the top, their double splash, and pinned Brian. According to Jonathan Coachman, the place came unglued when the Usos both jumped off the top rope.
That's cool. One thing about tonight, the crowd was always hot.
Yeah, there was a good crowd.
The only match they were like meh for was maybe the Cruiserweight match in the segment with Lars and the Lucha House Party.
Well, they didn't know what to expect from those.
That's very true. But other than that, like, the crowd was on fire for tonight. So let's talk about...
Now, before we talk about any other matches,
all right,
let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow night on Raw. We'll just get this out of the way because people are probably going to ask about it.
Well, let's not blow our whole load the first 2 minutes, buddy.
Or what? You want to save that for what? When it just comes up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. Listen, man. Listen, I'm not an early blower. I don't do that.
Hey,
I take my time.
Trust me, we've got some stuff to hold back on from the end of this show.
That's very true. So let's kick it off with the first match on the main card.
The women's Money in the Bank ladder match that was better than I expected from everybody.
Yeah, this was fantastic.
So, is Sonya Deville Mandy Rose's James Ellsworth?
Yes, and I love it. I love that spot.
That was the first thing I thought when she started helping Mandy, and I was like, she's Mandy's Ellsworth. No fucking joke.
I like it. I think she has the best spear on the fucking planet.
I don't know if I'd call it the best.
It's better than a lot of other people's.
It's pretty good. So, match saw a lot of different spots. Carmella early on faked an injury. They had the trainers and referees bring her to the back. She was somewhat limping on her knee. Yeah,
she was limping, but she didn't, like... Her face to me was like, oh shit, this is legit. Like, oh god.
She sold it. Yeah, she sold it well with her facials.
Stop. Stop. Don't say it like that. She sold it. She sold it very well with her acting.
Yeah,
Tim.
her facial expressions.
Thank you very much. That's a different website to go watch facials.
So,
James Charles.
Just talking more about this match. There was a spot where Dana Brooke almost looked like she was going to win, and I'm like, this ain't happening. And she gets knocked off the ladder.
I didn't see Dana winning, but at least she had a good outing.
Oh, yeah, she looked, for this kind of a match, she didn't look bad. There was nothing that from her, because many people were like, oh, she's going to mess so much stuff up, it's going to stand out. Nothing that she did really stood out in a negative way.
Yeah.
Even when, I think it was it Natty pushed her off the ladder, and she just tumbled right off, no problem.
Yeah, and once we get to the end, I'll have a little bit to say about the women in the matches, like, overall.
Now, I do have to say, I don't have this confirmed, but I believe they did practice this match multiple times.
Yeah, because none of those women were at the house show, right?
Yeah, they did not work the end of the week house shows. I was weird because I was looking on Instagram, and I'm like, it's Thursday. Why is Natty home with the rest of the Raw crew still overseas? Mm-hmm. And then it dawned on me today. I was like, wait. They probably left early to practice because that's what they did last year. They had them practice like 2 days prior.
I think that's I think that's what I heard from Steven Larson. They were talking about it on their live stream.
I think Meltzer talked about that as well.
Yeah, well, they got it from Meltzer, I should say.
So some other stuff in this match. Ember Moon may need to change her finisher.
Why?
So she does that Eclipse, and she did one where she was on the ladder on the outside of the ring, and she jumps into the ring tonight and does the Eclipse. I just think the impact that she takes on her lower back and tailbone is eventually going to be too much. I mean, Austin said once before that he almost regrets having the stunner because of the impact it took on his lower back. I mean, Hogan said that he wishes he didn't do the leg drop for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're not wrong there, but like,
and when she does it, she doesn't just like when you see Austin do the stunner, he just kind of like comes down on it.
She kind of ragdolls her body.
That, and like you can tell like she just like dead weights herself to give it the most pull she can coming down. So it was like I saw the way she did it tonight, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I don't know how much longer she's going to be able to do that move. Like, she'll probably do it for a while. Like, that'll be her finish, but it may bite her in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it might, but I think for now, as long as they're starting to do that a little more safer, fuck it, dude.
So, all the women get knocked down, basically, and then Carmella comes back. And we're like, oh, it wasn't a real injury. So Carmella comes out, and she's limping, but she's more limping like she's got a rod stuck up her butt or something, because she was...
Good Lord.
She was kind of like walking funky instead of walking with a limp. That's how it looked to me.
That was my nickname in high school.
She comes down, she takes down a couple people, she gets taken out, and then Sonya Deville's the only one standing.
Yeah.
Sonya gets in the ring, and she sets up the ladder. She's all setting it perfect, and I'm thinking, so she's James Ellsworth, and she's just going to climb, throw the briefcase down, and Mandy's going to catch it. But instead, which was actually pretty dang impressive, she gets Mandy in the ring, puts Mandy on her shoulders, and climbs about halfway up the ladder with Mandy Rose on her frickin' shoulders.
Like, damn near all the way up the ladder.
I mean, it was like halfway, three-quarter.
2 more steps to go.
Well, but no. By the time Mandy got off, there was still like a quarter of the way up because she like got off right in front of her, kind of. Either way, regardless, they're both up at the top of the ladder. Mandy can barely move. Sonya's like encouraging her. And then all of a sudden, Bayley climbs up that ladder, and Bayley gives her the most I'm freaking pissed off look I've ever seen from Bayley.
It's a Bayley knocks him off the ladder.
Yeah.
Bayley grabs a briefcase. She is now she was Miss Money in the Bank.
Well, at this moment, she was.
At this moment, she was Miss Money in the Bank. And one thing hey, am I too loud? I just realized how loud my fucking gain was. Well, I guess you can adjust it.
I've got you good.
Cool. I like the subtle character change that you're starting to see from Bayley to where she was like...
Was it, though?
She was a lot more aggressive.
True.
She was a lot more aggressive.
We have seen that since the move to SmackDown.
Yeah, and Derek Bocek says something that I noticed as well, but I'm not going to show that in chat. But
you said that earlier to me.
I did. I said it before we got on the air, Derek. But I liked the character shift with her. I liked... WWE. I also like their like very swift way of being like your best friend Sasha Banks, who is signed to the Raw brand. And it was like, all right, was that just a way to shoehorn that in?
Right. Sasha's still under contract. I mean,
I wonder what percentage of Bayley winning this, and then, fast forward a little bit, she ends up winning the SmackDown belt. I wonder how much of that factored into telling Sasha, see, we can do good creative things.
I said this on the SmackDown recap this week or last week. I was like, watch Bayley win just for them to show, like, basically the same thing you said. Watch Bayley win for them to be like, look, Sasha, we pushed your friend. We'll do something with you.
Exactly.
But, I mean, there's no indication that Sasha's coming back anytime soon. Who knows what she's going to want to do. I think right now the ball's in her court. Sorry about that, guys. My software that basically streams the show just all of a sudden out of nowhere on its own just said, I'm closed. But we're back.
Yeah, it was tired. It didn't like your voice anymore.
We should be back here any moment. And come on.
Well, yeah, we're not back up yet. Shit.
No, it's showing me live.
All right, we're back up.
So,
dude, let's get some F's in chat for the stream right there, boys.
let me know in the chat if you can still hear us. Some people are saying offline. It's showing me that we are online, so hopefully
we're like super delayed from my end, at least. Anyway, let's continue on with this match.
So, like we were saying, the whole Bayley thing was this a thing of, look, Sasha, we could do something with you. And like I was saying, we don't know if this was a, hey, Sasha, we want to push your friend, or, we're pushing your friend so we can push you. We're still fucking offline.
I know. It just showed me.
Fuck.
The one goddamn show I come back and we fucking go offline. Does it need an update?
It doesn't matter because you can skip the updates. You can opt out of the updates.
That's true. Sasha quit and so did the stream. Brock cashed in on the stream.
Come on. Come on. Show me that we're live. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear us. I apologize for this. The stream
fucking
probably...
F in the... Can we get some Fs in the goddamn chat for just the shitty OBS platform?
This probably won't be going up on fucking SoundCloud then.
Because it's broken up into two.
I don't know what's going on with it. I might be able to... I don't fucking know. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's stinky. Everyone's saying that they can hear us now, which is like F.
I still see RIPs. You're live. I can hear you. Awesome. All right, cool. So if you guys can hear us, let me know. It's still not showing me. But yeah, so the whole Sasha thing, it's like when she comes back, what do they do? Do they push her? Do they not?
Exactly.
Are they going to do anything good with her? Who knows? And we'll see where that goes. But going forward, after the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, we got a thing backstage with Triple H on the phone. So Triple H is on the phone, and he's talking with somebody, and Sami Zayn barges into his office.
Also, I want to know, where the fuck is Triple H getting all these friendship bracelets from? Did you see that?
No, I didn't notice.
He had a ton of bracelets on, like he just left fucking EDC.
Well, I know he wears the Connor's Cure one sometimes, and he always wears the old man arthritis bracelet sometimes. Like, my dad had a friend that was, like, in his 50s or 60s, and he wore this, like, brass metal bracelet to help with his arthritis. And I've seen Triple H wear that before. I'm like, ooh, Triple H's got arthritis?
That's weird. We're offline, but people can hear us.
This guy just got banned.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
We're offline, but people can still hear us. Holy shit, we're back live on my end, baby boy.
It just told me stream resumed. All right, cool. I don't know.
Sorry for the fucking shit show.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys heard and what you guys didn't hear. We look to be live now. I don't know what happened at all. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know what happened. The software I used literally just closed itself.
Stinky crash.
Like, I don't know how that even... So, after the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, we go to the back. Triple H is on the phone with, as Nick said, all his friendship bracelets. I mean, he does have 3 daughters. Maybe they made them for him.
Do you think, oh my God, that would be the sweetest fucking thing? Just Triple H wearing friendship bracelets from his daughter. Aww.
So, he gets interrupted by Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn was like, what are we going to do about Braun Strowman tonight? You're going to make sure Braun doesn't come and get me and da-da-da-da. And Triple H is like, don't worry, Strowman's been banned from the building. He won't be here.
Plot twist.
He's like, well, I want protection. He's like, Sami, just be fine. You'll be fine. He told him if you wanted protection, to tape his fists.
There you go. If you want protection, throws a fucking Trojan condom at him.
So then we get Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. And if you blinked, you probably missed this match.
Yeah, and here's my thing. Go ahead and say what happened in this match.
So Dominic doesn't come down with Rey, even though they played it up. And Joe was like, bring your son with you to the ring and this and that. And Dominic was seen backstage watching. And so they're doing the match. Rey Mysterio ends up reversing a powerbomb into a Hurricane Rana into a pin. Match goes about 93 seconds. I don't know what was going on here.
So Joe got busted open. And...
well, Joe shouldn't have even been pinned because the referee didn't see that his shoulder was up. I forgot to mention that.
And so at the end of the match, Rey's out of the ring and Dominic's there. And Dominic is celebrating with his father, his very small father. And the two of them are walking back up the ramp. And like a goddamn 18-wheeler powers through, like just brushes past Dominic, absolutely destroys Rey, and just beats him down. And for about 3 uncomfortably long minutes, Rey Mysterio gets the shit beat out of him. All while his son just watches and goes, oh no, stop it, Mr. Samoa Joe, that's not nice.
What happened to Rey telling Cesaro, my son's been training, he's been traveling the world training.
Yeah.
But he ain't good enough to help you yet?
Here's another thing. Rey Mysterio fought for the goddamn custody of that little runt kid, and he couldn't even help him when Joe's kicking his ass?
And then how about...
horseshit.
How about 30 to 60 seconds of the camera just on Joe's face, and he's got blood coming out of his nose?
Yeah, which was just... God, they made Joe look super strong.
Yeah, they did. Joe looked like a fucking
Joe and
beast.
Lars. Yeah, Joe and Lars both look like fucking big, beefy men.
So there wasn't much to it, like I said. Dominic just watched.
Yeah, Dominic.
As his dad got his ass beat. And this feud isn't over. This feud's been going on. I mean, I guess you could say WWE's giving us something that's long-term, because this feud's been going on since before WrestleMania, like March, into February, early March.
I like it. It doesn't really feel like it's for that U.S. title, but
So then guess what?
What's up?
We saw Braun Strowman backstage, even though he was banned from the building looking for Sami Zayn.
Yeah, they lied to us.
He must have... either he busted through security, or security was like, so we're told this guy called Braun Strowman, he's banned from the building, but we don't know what he looks like, so we'll just let anybody in.
There you go. That's how it's done.
Then we got Shane McMahon versus The Miz inside a steel cage. So the crowd was into this match, actually. Surprisingly. I was also surprised that Shane didn't jump off the top of the cage. Ooh, punched my mic there.
Boy. Yeah, I'm also surprised at that as well.
So at one point, Miz used a skull-crushing finale on a steel chair that Shane had brought into the ring. Shane got his foot on the ropes, and the referee stops counting. And even the announcers, the commentators are all confused, like, huh? You don't do a rope break in a cage? And then they try to justify it. Well, maybe the referee doesn't want Shane McMahon to be mad at him, so he's not going to count the 3. Yet he was counting almost to 3 a couple other times.
Exactly.
Like, Miz hits a skull-crushing finale off the ropes, and the referee goes 1, 2, 3 and 3/4. Or 2 and 3/4, I mean. So, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, your logic of, well, maybe he's just afraid that Shane's going to be mad if he counts him. Yeah, no. So, they're fighting, and finally Shane just gets Miz down, and he scurries up the cage like a little cat climbing a wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Miz goes after him, and they're fighting off each other, and then Miz looks like he's trying to superplex Shane. So for about, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes maybe, it's just the two at the top of the cage taking a breather, pretending like Miz is trying to herc Shane over. Like, that was a little long for me, the way that they just stalled and stalled and stalled it.
Mm-hmm.
But then finally Shane starts to shake and shimmy. And as he shakes and shimmies, He shakes and shimmies out of his shirt and just floop, slides right down.
We finally got to see what everyone has been waiting for. Shirtless Shane McMahon.
So Shane comes out of his shirt. He falls to the floor below, and he beats The Miz. I thought it was a little clever, creative, because I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's a spot that I've never seen.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, most people either wrestle with a singlet or no shirt if they have something, you don't get that many wrestlers in shirts in cage matches.
True.
But I thought it was clever that he slips out of the shirt, falls down like that. He could have landed bad and like twisted his ankle or something. So I'm glad that he fell in a good way where he didn't hurt himself.
So how long is this feud gonna go on for, dude?
I mean, is this it? Gotta be.
There's no way Shane walks out on top of that feud, dude.
Unless they do the blow off in Saudi Arabia in 2 weeks. Well, actually, it's not Saudi Arabia. According to the announcers, it's just an international pay-per-view. They won't say Saudi Arabia. They just say WWE Super Showdown, the international pay-per-view. Now,
when they say that, is it because they can't confirm that they have Saudi Arabia?
What do you mean confirm it? They'll be in Saudi Arabia on June 7th. They just want it to look better on people watching the show that don't know that they're going to Saudi Arabia. Because if they say, oh, yeah, we have ties with Saudi Arabia, people may get mad. But then if you watch the show, they're never going to say they're in Saudi Arabia, even when they're there live. But, I mean, put 2 and 2 together. Go on any website. It's going to tell you that the show's from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So then after this match, we get the announcement that tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, Mick Foley's going to be there. But he's going to be there for a certain reason. He's introducing a brand new championship into the WWE, but they wouldn't say what it was. And my first thought was, well, it's Foley. Hardcore title, maybe? And then you texted me the same thing.
Well, I texted you hardcore title, and then after taking what I can only describe as the largest hit anyone should ever take of a wax pen full of just marijuana, I then out loud screamed, "Wildcard Championship, baby!" And then I think that's what it's going to be.
You may not be wrong, and your description, which you told me of that was, because at first I'm like, what would a Wildcard Championship be? And you were like, it's a belt that can go between brand to brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, fuck, that may be what it is. But why Foley? Is he the only legend they can get in last minute?
Because it's either usually Stephanie or Foley.
Well, it was Foley when he was the GM.
I guess that's true. Real quick, Bobby AJ with the $5. How do you follow up on such a disappointing ending to Money in the Bank? What do you do with Lesnar now? We'll get there towards the end. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say right now, I didn't think it was disappointing. I can tell you exactly where it's heading, but we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, whatever this new championship's going to be, whether it's the hardcore title. Now, do you even think WWE wants to do hardcore?
If they do a hardcore title, it has to be the 24/7 rule.
Well, of course. Now, here's an interesting thing. Do you think them wanting to add a little, if this is the hardcore title, you think this could be like a direct thing to try to compete with AEW? Because AEW is TV 14 and they're going to be a little more edgy than we are?
Probably.
Because Stephanie McMahon did a rah, let's motivate everybody meeting backstage today. Mm-hmm. And literally said, our company competes with more than just other wrestling companies. And she goes, video games, movies, television, and AEW. Like, she mentioned it by name as a competitor to their company. So,
I mean, they are, and I think with that, I think that's great that WWE is acknowledging that, yeah, these guys are our competition, so guess what? The fucking goal is to always be better than your fucking competition.
Right.
So let's be better.
And we do know at least Double or Nothing will be TV 14 because they've put out commercials for Double or Nothing that do have the TV 14 logo. I don't know if I would assume that the weekly show is going to be TV 14, but when you think about it, the TV 14 and the PG rating mean nothing.
Dude,
because, go for it.
I just fucking thought of something, man.
What?
What if the winner of that big 50-man over-the-top battle royal receives just some stinky belt?
And the Braun did last year?
Yeah,
That
that's
mean
the
nothing.
belt that they're announcing. But that's the belt that they're going to announce tomorrow. This is what you'll be fighting for in Saudi Arabia.
The belt that Braun won in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah,
brought back for a week, and then we never saw again.
we saw it in one promotional photo, and then they took it down, re-uploaded it.
Yeah, because it said like the Saudi Arabia champion on the roster page or something like that, or the greatest Royal Rumble champion, but it had like the Saudi Arabia flag logo or something that had to do with Saudi Arabia on it, and they were like, "Oh, wait, we shouldn't put this on our roster page."
Yeah.
So I don't know what this belt's going to be. Hopefully we hear some stuff overnight and tomorrow before Raw goes on the air. But moving forward, Cruiserweight Championship was on the line when Tony Nese had a good match with Arya Daivari. Daivari came out in a I don't know what kind of car it was. I didn't really get a good look at it. Some sort of convertible.
Real nice car. Nice car.
So his music hits, and all of a sudden you hear honk honk, and then one of the announcers goes, "What was that?" And all of a sudden you see him driving in a car. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool."
I would have really liked someone was like, Alberto's here. Alberto Del Rio's back. Shit. Where's Paige? Hide her.
So this was a really good match. Like Nick said earlier, crowd wasn't too into it, but it's because it was the Cruiserweight match, and a lot of people...
Yeah, just no one really watches 205.
They don't know... Like, I can see maybe some people knowing who Tony Nese was because he was involved with a lot of the Enzo stuff that actually transitioned over to Raw. But as far as Daivari goes, I don't know many people that don't watch 205 Live that would know who Daivari is.
Mm-hmm. Which, and I hope this made them like...
I love that it was on the main card.
Oh, yeah.
So very solid match. They actually gave it a decent amount of time.
Yeah, they really did.
At one point, Daivari did kick out of a 450 after a Frosberry flop. Nese then kicked out of a frog splash and a Rainmaker attempt. And Nese did retain the championship with what they call it, a running Nese in the corner, which is running knees. But they call it the running Nese, which is kind of play on words, clever. So after this match, we then see Triple H confronting Braun Strowman backstage. Apparently, we learned that Zayn had been taken out, and Braun denied that he did it. So he said Zayn had been taken out, but before this we hadn't seen what happened. Am I wrong? Like they didn't show anything till later.
Of Sammy hanging?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't show anything.
So he just tells Braun someone took out Sami Zayn, and he was like, "I didn't do it." And then Triple H said that he wouldn't let Strowman be in the match if his goal was to take out Sami Zayn just to regain his spot. Strowman said, "Well, it wasn't me. I didn't do it." He was like adamant, like it wasn't me. And Triple H told him to leave. He said that, "I'm telling you this as your boss." And then he basically said that am I going to have to ask the police to make you leave? And then they then said that, "Oh yeah, by the way."
Hold on.
Huh.
You didn't say what Strowman's incredible response to that was.
What was it? Did I miss something?
He said, and in this exact voice, "Whatever, man." And
Did he? I missed that.
He literally he's gonna go, "As your boss, I'm asking you to leave." He goes, "Whatever, man." And it was just like the most what the fuck?
So then they go back to the announcers, and the announcers state that, "Hey, Sami Zayn has been taken to a local medical facility because of this." And then you see it says earlier today, which earlier today, less than an hour ago, Sami was in Triple H's office.
Which I love. I love just someone took a single screenshot of just a very blurry moving Triple H and just fucking Sami Zayn hanging upside down.
But it was weird that the way they were like earlier today, like it was like before the show went on the air, but we had seen Sami in Triple H's office less than an hour prior to this.
Exactly.
So you see Triple H running frantically, and all these people are yelling at him, "Go this way, go this way. It's Sami Zayn, blah, blah, blah." And literally, Sami has been hung on a chain link fence from his feet until they got to take him to the hospital. I guess he was unresponsive, it looked like, or whatever. I don't even know. I was like, what the hell is this supposed to be? So,
It was weird.
Brock hung him?
I guess so.
Oh, it was Brock?
Yeah, I guess it was Brock, huh?
I mean, who else would it have been? I mean, if it was... If it would have been Bray Wyatt showing up in that match, the hanging would have made so much sense.
Well, exactly, and that's what I said. I really thought, and then the crowd, and not to jump ahead a little bit, but during the men's match, they were chanting "Yowie Wowie."
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't know what was going to happen. They just what they wanted.
Yeah, but it was just like if he would have came out, that would have just been the perfect.
It would have.
It would have been the perfect line. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. I mean, for what we can assume that the Bray Wyatt character has been and is going to be going forward, hanging somebody. And I mean, I wouldn't put that against the Bray Wyatt character, and at least they didn't like hang him by his neck or anything. It was by his feet, so it's like it's not that big of a that's so bad you shouldn't be doing that on your show kind of thing. Regardless, we then had Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans with the Raw Women's Championship on the line.
This was okay. So this match was actually not fucking terrible.
So Lacey's got a set move set, and they say only do these moves.
And it's fine.
And then Becky probably, I don't know if they worked this match beforehand, like if they practiced it a lot or nothing. I don't know. But it was like, all right, Becky's going to just be in charge. Lacey knows her moves. She's going to keep doing those same moves, which I like that. You could tell she did a lot of the same moves, but she didn't do them in like a repetitive manner where it was like, oh yeah, she's only doing this, this, and this.
Yeah, and I think for her, like she's got a lot to like.
Right. I liked the line Corey Graves had when at one point Lacey kind of got in control, and he goes, Lacey, she was able to watch tape and study her opponent Becky Lynch, but there's no tape on Lacey Evans, so Becky, she doesn't know what to expect in this match, and now Lacey Evans, she's kind of taken over. I liked that line that she could study her opponent, but Becky couldn't study her.
I like that. It's nice when that. Even when they're not, even when they're still green, they're still putting them over.
Right.
So that's what I can greatly appreciate.
So, at one point, like I said, there was nothing bad in this match. Nothing stood out as, Lacey messed up. Crowd seemed to be kind of behind it, but it was mainly because they were just really behind Becky. I mean, there was a spot where literally for 2 minutes they were just going, whoa, and
which was just,
and then they go, whoa.
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
I thought Kofi and her were flavor of the month. Nah, man, they're over as hell.
So the finish saw Evans use a chop, and then the referee didn't count the pin. Like Evans hit a hard chop, Becky falls to the mat, Lacey then goes for like a roll up pin, and the ref doesn't count. He's just like. He jumps down like he's going to count. Now, keep in mind, this is the same ref that messed up the Mania main event and counted when he shouldn't have with. So he was probably like, oh, a Becky Lynch match? I better count at the right time. This ain't the finish. I'm not even going to count. So
this isn't the goddamn finish Vince told me.
He jumps down to count. His hand up, never moves. And then he slips right back up to his feet, runs around the other side of Becky. Becky slides into the disarmor and like instantly... She's tapping out. Lacey is. But it was weird because when they do the whole instant tap out, it's usually like a... But she was kind of like a... Just like kind of tapping kind of deal. Usually it's like when you want to make a move look strong on like an instant tap out, they start tapping really hard, really fast. But Lacey was kind of just like, all right, I'm going to tap.
That's such a small nitpick for me.
I know a lot of people were like, what the hell's going on with this ref? And there was like... The ref in the cage match when he was like, foot on the ropes. That shouldn't matter at her, matter in a cage match, but whatever.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
So Becky gets out of the ring. She's got both of her belts. She celebrated for a hot second. And all of a sudden Charlotte's music hits. And Charlotte comes down with the biggest smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And Becky's kind of looking at her like, wait, we're doing this now? And Corey Graves is like, this is genius. This is genius by Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair's just gonna take the match right now, even though it's scheduled for later. And so Charlotte gets in the ring and she's like, let's go. And I love the line of Corey Graves. He goes, it would behoove Becky to not get in the ring since this match technically isn't supposed to start right now anyways.
It's very true.
He's like, Becky could have time to recuperate. And then Becky gets in the ring. He goes, oh, I guess we're doing this now. And then Cole says something like, I've gotten word on the headset. And he doesn't say anything. Referee holds up the title and he goes, yep, this is happening now. Like they didn't know what to expect.
Good Lord.
So the match, I guess you could say it was kept a little short. Fine match. A lot of trading elbows and punches back and forth.
Excuse me. It was kept fine for what it was.
Yeah. So two are trading shots back and forth, really taking it to one another. Charlotte gets thrown out of the ring. Referee's counting, 7. And all of a sudden, Lacey Evans shows back up, pops Becky in the face with the woman's right. Charlotte jumps back into the ring, pins Becky Lynch. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair, new champion.
But
so then, Lacey and Charlotte start double teaming on Becky, and they're beating the holy hell out of her at ringside. Then when they bring her in the ring, they've got Becky posted up in the corner. Lacey's got her arms pulled behind her around the turnbuckle, and Charlotte is giving her the hardest chops I've seen in a long time. Like those were loud,
these are stiff boy chops.
And stiff.
Loud and stiff. That was my nickname
And the crowd
in high
starts
school.
chanting, "We want Bayley, we want Bayley," and then out comes Bayley. So Bayley runs down, gets her ass beat for a second, gets knocked down. She gets thrown into the turnbuckle, I think it was, and Charlotte thinks, she's all good. Bayley gets back to her feet. Charlotte runs at her with a boot, but Bayley sidesteps and throws Charlotte literally top of her cranium into the turnbuckle. It just another loud. Charlotte she hits it, falls down. She's just dead. Like she's just knocked out. So Bayley's looking around like, what do I do? Do I catch? And everyone's just, the crowd's going wild at this point. And Bayley's looking around like, do I do it? Do I cash in? I'm going to do it. So she hands the briefcase to the referee before the referee even says anything. Greg Hamilton's already on the mic. Bayley is cashing in Money in the Bank. Bayley doesn't do anything. She's just like, Charlotte's knocked out. If I touch her, it might revive her, so I'm just going to pin her. Because a lot of times back in the day or in this kind of scenario, it would be they're knocked out, but I still got to get my finisher in. Bayley didn't even think that. She was just like, she's knocked out.
Well, she got her finisher in.
Did she hit her with the Bayley to belly after she was already knocked out?
No, she hit her with the elbow.
Oh, that's right. Duh.
Fucking idiot. Would you not even watch the show?
No, I did. It's called making the kids dinner at the same time. Regardless, Bayley does go to the top rope. You're right. She does hit the elbow and pins Charlotte 1, 2, 3. New SmackDown Live Women's Champion. But don't forget the fact that Charlotte is a 9-time Women's Champion now. How long till she gets 16?
Probably like 2 years. But Bayley's also a Grand Slam Women's Champion now.
Yeah, she's the only technical Grand Slam Women's Champion.
She's won every women's title physically winnable on the WWE brand.
Yeah, I mean, main
she won the NXT,
but she hasn't won NXT UK.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking about main roster. She's won everything.
Yeah, main roster. She's won everything.
So how long till Lacey Evans and Charlotte are tag team champions?
Yeah, I like that tag team. I like that idea. I think they're great for each other.
Charlotte's the one in charge, and then Lacey just does what she tells her and helps her beat people up.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, they work well together. Seem to, at least.
What's going on, Ken? Terminated by Goop.
Bayley wins the belt. Bayley's celebrating, runs into the crowd because she knew exactly where she was going because somebody had a sign in the crowd that said Bayley in the Bank, which is cool. But
Wholesome. Wholesome.
Yeah, but somewhere in the running to this sign, somebody stuck a dirty, bloody, used Band-Aid on her belt.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, what the?
So
she
gets
back in the ring.
Baby.
She gets back in the ring. She's, celebrating. And there we go. Bayley is now the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So then
that's awesome. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
congratulations to Bayley. Because I really hope this is an opportunity for Bayley to kind of shift up her character from just like lovable, huggable Bayley to like I'm lovable and huggable and I'm gonna beat your fucking ass, Bayley.
Right.
I like it. I think it's gonna be great.
So then Elias.
Yeah, Mr. Jones. I did see someone trying to cop a feel on Bailey.
So next up, Elias comes out.
No, well,
what?
Recorded by Mr.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop.
Did that answer your question?
I didn't ask you a question. Alexa, stop.
Old man versus technology.
Hey.
No, what was I gonna say? Before he came out, what happened?
Was there something? I know I missed this because I missed him actually coming out.
So Roman Reigns was walking backstage, and a sneaky
that's
Elias sneaks up behind Roman Reigns and just absolutely demolishes the guitar over Roman Reigns' back. The acoustic guitar is dead as he begins to walk through the not walk through Gorilla, but walk through the side entrance of the ramp, goes down to the ring and requests an electric guitar, and then proceeds to absolutely run down this Connecticut crowd. Dude, when was the last time Elias got through a full song?
Beats me.
He also ended his song with one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in the world.
Which was?
That's it. Thank you all. I love none of you.
Oh yeah.
He walks off once he gets about right to the flat part of the ramp where he can go to backstage. Roman Reigns' theme song kicks up. Roman Reigns comes out and just gives a fatty of a Superman punch. Both men enter into the ring. The match starts. Roman hits a spear. 1, 2, 3. Sub 9-second match.
Yeah.
Roman goes over.
I think the official time is 9 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine with me. It's not a big deal. Roman in a squash match, sure, that's fine.
See, when this happened, my first thought was, oh, great. They didn't want Roman to work hard in this match because he's going into the ladder match because we have one man down.
Oh, but it was even worse than you thought.
No, it was better than I thought because I like Brock winning.
True.
So we do this. Roman wins in 9 seconds, and then out comes his Shield buddy, Seth Rollins, to defend the WWE Championship. No, the Universal Championship against AJ Styles. It's kind of habit to say WWE Championship and AJ Styles in the same sentence. So excellent match. I'm just going to say that right off the bat.
Oh, absolute banger.
Had some stuff in here that we've never seen before. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. The curb stomp into the Styles Clash.
Yeah, that was... How?
Smooth.
How did that even... That was just pure...
Madness.
Yeah, sure.
Pure madness.
So... They're doing all these big spots. Rollins was going for a curb stomp at one spot point, like you said, and Styles caught him with a Styles Clash. What? He kicks right out. Rollins also did a super high frog splash at one point that looked really good. And they only called They call it just a splash.
Yeah, do they not say frog splash anymore?
They do it when Kevin Owens does it, I thought.
No, they called that a bullfrog splash.
Did they call it bullfrog splash?
Yes.
Huh. Because I remember, so it was yesterday, they were showing a bunch of old, they did a live stream of a bunch of old Money in the Bank matches. And there was one where RVD jumps off of a ladder and just does a splash. And they called that a 5-star frog splash because it's RVD.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, he just fell off the ladder and landed on the opponent. I forget who it was. It might have been Christian or something. But anyways. So the finish of this match did come when AJ went for the phenomenal forearm and Rollins moved out of the way. He hit the ripcord knee, which Cole calls it the ripcord knee, but Corey calls it the revolution knee.
I don't like that.
Super kick to the gut. The stomp, because it ain't the curb stomp in WWE. It's just the stomp. Pins AJ.
Le stompe.
Pins AJ. So Rollins is celebrating, and AJ leaves the ring. But then AJ turns back around and jumps back in. And Seth's kind of like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Doesn't know what to think. And so he was celebrating on the middle rope. He gets down and he goes over to AJ, and AJ doesn't say anything. He just looks at him and extends his hand for a handshake. And Seth kind of like, do I do it? Do I shake his hand? And then eventually they shake hands.
It was fine. I thought the match was great. I thought the ending was great. Storytelling was good as well.
And I know people were criticizing that. Oh, why would they shake hands after the match after having such a grueling, hardcore, well, not hardcore, but hard-fought match against one another? It's like, well, Seth earned AJ's respect.
There you go.
But then people online were like, why isn't, this is just as bad when the women have a good match and then they cry afterwards and hug with each other. And I get the comparison. Like, if you watched the last Impact Wrestling pay-per-view, the Tessa Blanchard-Gail Kim match was all about these two women just hating each other, like not liking any bit of each other, wanting to just destroy each other. But then after the match, they're hugging like they're best friends. So I get in that regard, but there was
I think it's because the ideas throughout the match, they put each other to their limits and they gained a new respect for each other.
Right, but it's like it kind of takes away a little bit of that when it's like a blood feud kind of thing. But in this match, there was never really I hate you. It was more like I want to be better than you.
Yeah,
so
and it was
no
like
hate.
all right.
So that makes sense in this way.
Oh, okay. You're okay. Cool.
Huh?
Nothing. I thought you were saying that like them doing this was stinky, and I was like, no.
No. I'm like, I was okay with it this time. I wasn't really that okay in the Tessa Blanchard-Gail Kim match when they literally wanted to just rip each other's heads off throughout the whole build of this match, where it was just like, oh, all of a sudden, because I don't know, because a lot of people were trying to be like, they did that because it's the woman's thing to do. Like when Bayley and Sasha Banks had their blood feud and then hugged it out after the match. And then take over Brooklyn. But regardless, great match by both guys. Like you said, you told me before we went live, you're like, this is the most indie match you've seen in WWE in a long time.
This is the most independent wrestling match I've seen in quite a while. So
then Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods were doing an interview. And before I get to this, I want to go back to the pre-show for a second. So Kevin Owens is being interviewed by Sarah Schreiber. And she's reciting the worst lines ever. And it's not even the lines that are bad. It's her reciting of the lines. Like, she's just horrible. And she asked Owens something along the lines of like, what are your thoughts of tonight's match? Do you think you have what it takes to defeat Kevin or Kofi Kingston? And literally Owens goes, well, you know what, Renee? And I'm like, well, that's not Renee. And he's talking again. He goes, so Renee. And I'm like, so even Kevin Owens can't tell the generic blonde interview girls apart.
That was so funny.
And then they come back to the pre-show panel, and Charlie Caruso goes, so that wasn't Renee, that was Sarah Schreiber, but I've confused her for Renee backstage before too. I was like, wow.
Good Lord.
Wow. So Kofi and Xavier are being interviewed, and they're just talking about how, some people say that Kofi couldn't have won the title without the New Day. Xavier Woods says that that's wrong, that I've always told, Xavier says something like, I've always told Kofi that he would have won this even if we didn't have the New Day, and he's earned this himself and this and that. And Xavier goes, and I'm going to respect Kofi's wishes and let him take on Owens man to man. I won't be there at ringside because I want him to show that he can do this by himself, which is cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then we get Lucha House Party coming out randomly. And they say the following match is a 6-man tag team match. First off, we've got the Lucha House Party. Lucha House Party comes down. The announcers do the normal thing where these guys like to have fun. They start naming the piñatas, and then they go, but once the bell rings, they know how to really, get aggressive or whatever they say.
And then
Lars Sullivan's music hits. Lars comes out and basically just destroys both guys, gets his head split open. Did you notice how he got his head split open, though? I didn't see.
I think he Goldberged himself.
Before?
I think so.
You think it happened before it even came out?
I'm like 90% positive.
Huh.
I think he might have Goldberged himself.
So now the question is, if this is supposed to be a 6-man, who are their opponents going to be?
The Revival and someone from the Ascension.
Wow. Okay. Like that was the thing that running through my head. I'm like, who should their opponents have been? Like, I know they didn't have to think of that because that's not what they were planning anyways. But fans may think of it anyways. Because you would think, oh man, these guys are getting a match on the pay-per-view main card. So shouldn't the guys that they were supposed to face be mad that now their match is canceled?
True.
Like, hey, we were supposed to face these guys on the main card. Ain't we supposed to get like a pay-per-view bonus for working the pay-per-view? Now our match is canceled. Anyways,
Well, I assume they got the pay-per-view awareness for working the pay-per-view.
But
The Lucha House Party, at least.
But no opponents ever came out.
Right, but they still got their ass kicked.
But I'm just saying, like, their opponents were expecting a bonus for working the pay-per-view.
Gotcha.
If you're thinking about things logically.
Yeah.
So then we get Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston with a WWE Championship on the line. I really like this match. Match is really good, but it was good, but I think it could have been better.
It never really took off.
Exactly. It never peaked. It was clearly a mistake putting this on after the Rollins Styles match because people were probably like, that match peaked in a good way, but this match just isn't living up to that. So it was kind of like at Mania when they were like, if the Kofi Kingston match would have went on any, like if the Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan match would have went on any later, then the crowd may have been out of it then. And maybe that's what happened here. The crowd was just a little out of it at the same time as well because they've seen so many good matches up to this point.
Oh, yeah.
But at one point, Kofi did a corkscrew plancha into a super kick from Owens. Kingston had used a Trouble in Paradise earlier, but Owens rolled out of the ring. Kingston kicked out of a pop-up powerbomb attempt. Kingston then grabbed the ropes to avert a pin when Owens hit him with a stunner. Kofi Kingston hit the Trouble in Paradise at the end on Kevin Owens off
without
the top,
shoes.
Yeah, off the top rope. And then double knees, and he retained the WWE Championship.
Great match.
Loved the match.
Great, fantastic match.
They then were pushing everything for Super Showdown, their quote-unquote international pay-per-view. They told us that the Demon, Finn Balor, will be defending the IC title against Andrade. Goldberg versus The Undertaker. Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. A 50-man battle royal. And Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Randall Keith.
And then they did state, with more to come tomorrow night. So more matches will be announced tomorrow.
I'm assuming Hawkins and Ryder will defend their belt.
I would assume that whatever this belt Mick Foley announces will be crowned. The winner will be crowned at the Super Showdown.
Yeah.
First champion crowned. And here's the thing, though. So they recycled the name Super Showdown from the Melbourne, Australia show, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone's like, "Oh, they're lazy. They're just using the same name." You know how lazy this company is? They use the exact same graphics, just changed them from blue to purple.
Yeah.
Exact same graphics package.
I don't blame them.
Are you kidding me? I can see using the same graphics package from year to year on like the same pay-per-view, like Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank, but not. I don't even know. Anyways, nitpicking on my end. Then we had an amazing men's Money in the Bank ladder match. All 7, technically 8 guys in this match were great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this match was
This match had so many fucking spots, and all of the big, crazy, painful spots involved Finn fucking Balor.
Now, I saw some people online, they're like, this was just a spot fest match. But I think it wasn't because they broke up the action enough between big spots that it didn't seem like it was just big spot after big spot after big spot after big spot.
Mm-hmm. That was my
I loved early on how Orton was just backdropping everybody smaller than him onto the announce table.
Yeah,
like he does it to Ollie, and Michael Cole jumps up and goes, "Oh man!" And then right as Michael Cole's getting ready to sit down again, he does it to Finn, and Michael Cole goes, "Here we go again."
God damn it!
I was trying to sit down.
And then he does it to Ricochet, and at that point, Michael Cole's going, "Am I in this goddamn match too? Am I the 8th man?"
Right. So he does it to Ricochet, and then the camera pans out to like a high angle, and you see Michael Cole's just standing there like, I'm not even going to sit down.
I have a deep respect for Randy Orton and just how perfectly he is just as himself.
So going into this match, I think we both predicted Randy Orton, and about 2 minutes in, I knew it wasn't Orton with how hard they were pushing Orton as the favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he gets into the ring, and they were like, the most dangerous thing in this match is the 3 letters of the RKO. And then Orton just ripping on everybody early. I'm like, oh, man, he's not going to win. Dang.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, it's got to be Drew. Because as the match ramped on, so all these cool spots, and then Drew started gaining momentum. I mean, the worst spot of the match, though. You got Andrade and Finn.
Worst?
You think there was worse? Like worse as far as like hardest crash.
Oh, you're not saying worse as in bad. You're saying it's most painful.
Right.
Most painful.
I mean, there's 2 spots that could take that mantle. So the first
This is number one.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
So this spot was Andrade and Finn are fighting on the top of the ladder, and they're punching each other.
They're pretty fucking high up.
Back and forth, and they're at the top of this ladder. Like, if either man wanted to just unhook the belt of the briefcase, they could have. They were right at the top. And then Andrade goes, screw this. And he goes for a sunset flip powerbomb off the top of this, through well, not through a ladder, but the ladder was bridged between the ropes and the ladder. But as Andrade comes down, he knocks the ladder down. So the ladder's now angled. Finn, because if the ladder was flat, he would have just crashed through it. And because when Andrade comes down, he knocks it down. The ladder's now angled. Finn hits that ladder, bounces up about 4 feet, if not higher, and then crashes back down on the ladder again.
Yeah, it was intense.
And then later, what was it? Baron Corbin threw Ricochet? It was Corbin, right?
Yes, McIntyre.
Oh, McIntyre. Oh, no. Corbin hit Ricochet with that deep 12. He spun him around so many times.
God, that deep 6 was fucking beautiful.
He goes for the deep 6 on Ricochet, but he spins like 6 extra times. It's like a deep 12. But no, there's a spot in the match where Ricochet runs at Drew McIntyre, and McIntyre grabs him, throws him over the top rope as hard as he can, so he flies up as high as he can, and he just crashes and breaks the ladders. One of them 20-foot ladders bridged between the ring and the announce table. Before this, as he was setting up the ladder, though, Ali grabs his leg, and McIntyre literally just like stomps on him. It was let go.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually Baron Corbin does turn on Drew McIntyre. Ali gets chokeslammed through the Spanish announce table. Everybody's basically out, and so McIntyre thinks he can climb. He's climbing, gets about halfway, and then Orton runs in and pulls him off, hits him with an RKO. And everybody's, basically knocked out at this point. Randy Orton tried to climb up, and he gets knocked down by Ali. And then all of a sudden, the music of Brock Lesnar hits. And we got to think that, Brock's the final guy. Brock's number 8. Brock let everybody kill each other, and then he's going to come in. And what does he do? He comes in, takes out a couple people, climbs up the ladder. As he's climbing up the ladder, he's like yelling to the fans like, ha, 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 I'm doing what you don't want to see. Fuck you guys. Yeah. Grabs the briefcase and just sits at the top of the ladder laughing. And I loved it. The way he was just sitting at the top of the ladder laughing while the crowd's booing. He's like, hey, I did what I got to do. And what I think this is going to lead to is either Brock coming out and just going, I'm going to cash in at Saudi Arabia. Like, just calling his spot. Like, I don't even need to come at you from behind. I got a guaranteed title match because there's no more automatic rematches since I lost to Mania. I don't think they set up a match in Saudi Arabia for Seth that's not Brock, and then Brock just cashes in, and that's all Brock does in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. It's got to be an actual, they use this, like, the John Cena CM Punk thing where he actually calls the spot, or the RVD CM Punk match where he says...
No, RVD Cena.
Cena, that's right, Cena. I was thinking Cena, but because I just said Punk, I said Punk again. Anyways, so I think that's what it could be. Maybe Brock and Heyman show up on Raw tomorrow. I think they're in Albany, New York, maybe? I'm not 100%
Albany?
But they just show up tomorrow, and Brock just goes, I've got this briefcase. I don't want to carry it around, so I'm just going to tell you right now when I'm taking my match.
I like that.
But the show goes off the air with freaking Brock Lesnar sitting atop of the ladder, just laughing.
And I like this tweet from one Chris Jericho saying, awesome to see Brock Lesnar win the Money in the Bank match, even though he wasn't officially entered. Brock is the future of the business and a perfect example of genius booking and shows why WWE will remain on top forever. # go Brock go.
I didn't see that.
He tweeted it a little while ago.
Nice.
Overall, this pay-per-view was really, really exciting. I think every moment had something that kept your attention for the most part, even if it was, the kind of stinky segment with Lars and the Luge house party.
Right. I mean, you got to have a little bit of a, hey, let's just calm everything down for a second moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Even though the Raw tag belts weren't defended, I think overall this pay-per-view was a lot of fun.
Right.
I quite enjoyed it. I think the majority of people in here, I've either seen this is the worst thing I've ever seen, or it was pretty good. And in my opinion, this was WWE. This was like a fan service pay-per-view because this was like, listen, this AEW thing, it's kind of scaring us. So let's put on a little bit of a banger of a pay-per-view, huh? And it was good.
Yeah.
It was real good.
Now
Speaking
let's
of,
take. Go ahead. Go for, no, what were you say? Speaking of.
no, I was almost gonna wrap it, but it seems like you wanted to do something.
Oh no, we got a couple people calling us. Let's take a few calls before we wrap things up.
Cool.
And with that, take this first call here. If it wants to go through, because it's Skype, and Skype sometimes doesn't like to connect right away. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello. Am I talking to the man Tim?
Yes, you are. What's up? What'd you think of the show tonight?
All right, I guess I'll go fuck
Tim,
myself then.
Hey. Hold on. Tim, this is JD.
How's it going?
This is the first time I got a chance to talk to the man 420 friendly Nick.
Oh,
Hey.
you're goddamn right.
Hey, damn right, baby. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys, and I'm glad I was able to get through. Hey, Tim, I brought up a little scenario about anybody when Shane McMahon said anybody can join the Money in the Bank. And I was right. I was not anticipating Brock Lesnar to step in there.
I don't think anybody was.
What do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that, guys?
I mean, I love it because nobody expected it. It was probably, if you were to say WWE needed a surprise on this show, this is probably the biggest surprise they could have done. Because everything else, like, a lot of people were expecting Bray Wyatt. I mean, when Finn took that sunset flip powerbomb, the crowd started chanting "Yowie Wowie." Like, there wasn't much that they
and
could
I did too.
Like, there wasn't much they could have done that would have shocked or surprised everybody except for this. And I like that. You need, maybe not on every pay-per-view you need something shocking, but you need to do it more than they do. And this was something shocking that I actually enjoyed.
And I did too. And that kind of caught me by surprise completely.
Yeah.
Nick, what
What's
did
up?
you think of that?
I really, really like bringing Brock out there. Again, it's just this your safest, like, we'll get something out of this. Like, we can get something from this. And it's something that not a lot of people really expected. I'm cool with it, and I really like the image of big, muscular Brock Lesnar sitting his ass down on a fucking ladder.
Yes.
That's
The visual
I love
of him.
the line you just said right now. Yeah.
The
that was
visual
awesome. Go ahead, man.
The visual of him sitting on the top of that big 15, 20-foot ladder.
Made him look like a little baby, man. Thanks a lot for your call, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, JD is always in the house, and I love talking to Tim and Nick. This is the first time I got a chance to talk with you. I really do appreciate it. And, hey, I ran something across Tim. What did you think of the Bray Wyatt new character, and how far and how long do you think it's going to go? JD out, bro.
Awesome. I really appreciate that guy. That's a nice strapping young man. I gotta give my opinion on everything regarding Wyatt. Back when they that first Wednesday show I did where they kind of showed his main character. I'm excited, but I'm also skeptical, of course. And I really hope to see it go similar to the old Wyatt, but still something new and fresh.
Let's take one final call here before we wrap things up.
I
really appreciate that guy.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Good, how are you?
Good yourself?
Good.
just ask how he was.
Brock Lesnar did not have won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Pardon, can you say that again?
Brock Lesnar should not have won that title, that briefcase.
Why not?
That was
Why not?
he just doesn't. I think that if he was in the match, maybe, but like everybody who was actually working in the match didn't win it, and then somebody who was just backstage then just comes out and wins it.
But would you expect anything else from the Brock Lesnar character to wait his time and then come out? Nobody said that you have to come in and start of the match. There was never a rule that said if you're not there at the bell, you're not in.
I never seen Vince McMahon jock ride somebody so like he jocks ride Brock's too much.
But Brock makes some money. For all the money he pays Brock, he gets that money back in better ratings most of the time. Brock sells merch.
And one thing I want to say thank you for the call. I appreciate it, bud. I think the one thing about Vince kind of riding Lesnar is just that the dude is, I hate to say it because I don't think anyone else agrees, the dude's reliable. If you need to get a 7-minute match that is hard hitting with the right people, Brock's gonna be your guy.
Yeah.
True.
And 99% of the time, Brock's the guy that's just like, all right, that's what you want me to do? Okay, I'll be there. Tell me what day.
Brock's a great performer. I ain't taking nothing away from him, but like personally, I don't like seeing like Brock Lesnar on top all the time.
Well, then what they were planning on doing worked on you because it was something that they hoped that the fans didn't like. This wasn't something done for the fans. So with people now complaining about it, Vince is probably in the back going, we got the right reaction. People are mad. You can't always have the babyface go over or whoever the fans want. It can't always be that. I mean, look how long Brock held the WWE Championship from 2014-15. Fans didn't like it, but sometimes you got to do what the fans don't like to get to the final result to where the fans will like it.
True.
That's very, very true. Thank you for your call, man. We appreciate you taking the time.
Have a good night.
Thanks, bud.
Bye.
So with that, we had a couple little difficulties at the start, but everything went good after that. That was our Money in the Bank review and recap for a really good pay-per-view. Like all things together, really good pay-per-view.
All things considered, really, really fun pay-per-view. Folks, if you want fun, then you best be following me on Twitter at ArmWeek21. And if you want more fun, you can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/ProWrestlingULTD. And of course, right here on the website that you're on, YouTube. But not only that, if you want to listen to us on the go and don't want to have the YouTube app open, don't worry. We are on, what are we on? Like Apple. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iHeartRadio, Google Play Music as well.
Stitcher Radio.
Basically everywhere besides Spotify. But we're working on that. Hopefully we get there one day. Check out our friends over at Fightful Fightful.com and at Fightful Online is our Twitter. Everyone go tweet at Sean Ross Sapp. Tell him you're a wonderful man and your company is fantastic, because those guys over at Fightful has helped us. They've helped us a lot, and especially with what's coming up next weekend.
And talking about that, I did want to briefly hit on our kind of schedule for the week.
Who are you hitting on, Tim?
Oh, a couple people, weird, but that's neither here nor there.
Didn't need to know that.
So, for the week, we will be doing our normal live streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Raw, SmackDown, Wednesday show. As far as next weekend goes and news coming out, it's going to be a little different. So, Nick and I will be in Vegas for StarCast and Double or Nothing. We should be leaving Thursday afternoon, getting into Vegas late Thursday night. And so, when we leave, news is going to come out a little differently, as far as it's going to be videos basically of us telling you the news, like our faces, cell phone promo kind of little things, but we're going to try and still get as much news out on the YouTube channel as possible, even while we are in Vegas for those events. And then plus, we'll be pushing content from StarCast, because we're probably going to get a decent amount of content from there. Anything content-wise we can get from Double or Nothing.
You know what I'm really excited to start doing again?
What?
Vlogs.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be fun. I've got some ideas.
And so that's just the gist of things. Everything will basically go back to normal the following Monday, so a week from tomorrow. Mm-hmm. As far as a Double or Nothing review, hopefully we can put something up. It may not be till like a Sunday morning kind of thing, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen as far as us going to Double or Nothing, and then what's going to happen after Double or Nothing, because I think there's some events taking place after the show as well. So We'll let you guys know exactly what's going on. We will keep you posted in the community tab right here on YouTube, or follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited, or the Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD for more info throughout the week as far as when you can expect a Double or Nothing review. May not be live.
But it is going to be a lot of fun.
So with that, have a great night, guys, and I'll see you live tomorrow after Raw.
Make sure to call your mom. She misses you. We stream for 69 minutes.